Boom Bam Bam President Chad here with the man Robert Wallace on the United Hour. Sunday in Trinidad and Tobago, and you know we just do in Trinidad on a Sunday when we eat lunch, drink juice. Drink juice, Robert, drink juice. So today on the United Hour, we're going to be discussing Manchester United has acquired Benjamin Sesko, and we are all happy as United supporters. We are ecstatic as United supporters. However, the question is being asked, can we really be successful in this season with the donut-sized hole that we have in midfield? You know, there are a lot of people that found that many times throughout the season, it was way too easy to play through Manchester United, right? And, you know, getting a goal scorer or goal scorers is important, but, you know, we played first game is against Arsenal. As one of the better possession teams in the league. You know, can we afford to play Arsenal with Bruno Fernandes as one of the two midfielders in the back there? You know what I'm saying? If Casemiro have a bad day, or if Ugarte had the kind of day he had against Everton in preseason, you know, we're going to be in trouble. So, you know, before I kick it to you, Robert, let me paint a picture from my perspective. Right? Coming at the end of the season, when you look back at the season last season, it was horrible. You know, we finished 15th.
Yeah.
We scored 48 goals. Could you imagine? 38 goal season and we scored 48 goals for the whole of last season. So coming into the transfer market, from my perspective, Manchester United needed goals. We added Cunha, we added Mbumo, we added Sesko. That is 60 goals minimum. Now, obviously, you can't just take the goals guys scored last season at their old club and put it in. Not because we buy Cunha, are we going to get his goals? Not because we buy Mbumo, we're going to get his 20 plus goals. Sesko, same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but still, if you look at them based on what they did last season and based on their performances for their previous clubs, Manchester United has purchased 60 goals, right? In those three players. And then we know Bruno is a goal scorer for us. He is going to chip in. So Manchester United has purchased goals. The question now is, can we be successful? Even though we have purchased goals, can we be successful without adding strength in the midfield? Now, we know all the talk is about Carlos Barella from Brighton. Now, conversations has taken place between the club and between Barella's agent. It is even being reported that we have already established, you know, contract terms with the player. The question is, will Brighton sell? Right? We don't know the answer to that yet, but we know Brighton is going to be calling a lot of money because they made it clear they're not interested in selling the player at the moment in time. So we're probably going to have to pay an arm and a leg to see about that. But assuming that doesn't work out, can Manchester United head into the season with all of this new firepower and be successful without a midfielder?
I would have to say no, because the midfield was always a problem. There was always a problem since, I mean, ever since, even since the days of Van Gaal, Jose, we always had a problem with midfield. If it was, remember when it was the Max Fred thing, when it was Ander Herrera, if it was Pogba, if it was...
I'll be straight up with you. I would love Ander Herrera in this team right about now.
Correct.
Prime Ander Herrera, yes. Not at this age, but prime Ander Herrera in this team.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I think that would be something to look forward to.
You know, but then And that's the thing you see. So we have always had a problem with midfield for years now, and we haven't fixed it. We have tried to put things in place. Remember when we had Fellaini at one point, it was we had
So
Daily Blind.
so let me touch on some comments, and let me touch on a comment that you made. So Ken is saying that we will definitely be better, but we need to fix the midfield. So as far as he's concerned, he appreciates Sesko and Bruno Cunha, but we still need to get some work in that midfield. Courtney is saying good afternoon, Courtney. People, put your views in the comments. So you are saying we need a midfielder, and you are saying we have had trouble in the midfield for a little while. So what about Ugarte? You don't think, I know Ugarte is not Amarin sign, right? But we did buy Ugarte to do something in the midfield. That is what we bought him for. We have Mano. We have there was a point in time when we had first gotten the Butcher, where people were saying if push come to shove, we could push him up as a holding midfielder. We also have what is this guy's name? The defender we bought, Mazwari. We have Mazwari, who, to me, we played Mazwari in the 10. We played him as a midfielder. Well, obviously, he's a defender, but we played him all over the place. Could Mazwari do a job next to Bruno Fernandes? Because going forward, we expect Bruno Fernandes, if we go with the front three we'll be expecting, which is Sesko, Mbeumo, and Cunha. The only place for Bruno Fernandes to play is in the midfield.
Correct.
And if Bruno Fernandes has to play next to somebody, that person has to be excellent in that position. Because, Bruno Fernandes kicks in with defensive contributions, but Bruno Fernandes is no holding midfielder. Right?
No.
So, talk to me. Should we go all out? We have to go all out for Barella, or do we have the parts that at least kind of do something to hold on before to the
I think the way how we have been going about things. I mean, I have been one of the people who have spoken about Ineos in a very negative way. I have said even last season I can't trust them, but this season they have been going about things very smartly. They first ask the player, "Do you want to come?" The player says yes. Then we approach club and we get things moving. We did it with Sesko, we did it with Cunha. So, and I believe that we will do the same thing with
Barella. Well, that is the conversation. Conversation
right.
is like we have already spoken to the agents, and that's a go.
Right. So I think once that is good, I think we will, and then it's just the money. But I think he is our first choice. We need to have a second choice and third choice, but I think we need somebody. Before the window closes, we need a midfielder because the reality is that plus one, be it Casemiro, he doesn't have the legs. Ugarte.
But we playing one game a week though, Robert. We not playing no midweek football. Casemiro can't do the job for the season if we don't get Barella.
I think we need to have options. I think we need to have options with the kind of team that we are playing. If we are playing a team that is lower down in the league, who is going to sit back and defend, I don't think Casemiro is that kind of guy for that. If we're gonna play a team like Liverpool, who will be on the front foot, you have to have options. You need options, and to me, I think Carlos is the best option. Then that way we can have him for some games. We can rest him. We can afford now to rest him and bring Ugarte. We can actually have games now where we could have Cunha on the bench, put Bruno back there. You have Ugarte and Mino playing in the midfield. We need to have options. And not to talk about Liverpool, but you have to look at the rivals, look at the people who are above you, and ask what are they doing correctly. And this year, Liverpool has options. Man City has options to change for every game. Yes, it is only one game a week. Yes, but every game against each opponent is very different. So we need to have players when we're playing the Arsenals and the Liverpools, and then we need to have players when we play in the Sunderlands, and then we need to have players to play those guys in the middle. Because the reality is that our competition are the teams between 6th and 15th. That is our that is our competition. I don't expect us to beat the guys in the so-called top 4, but I expect us to beat the guys from 15 to 19. I expect.
You mean from 6 down to 20? You expect us to beat all those teams?
No. From 15 to 19. 15 to 19.
From 15 to 19? So we ain't going to beat 9, 10, and 11?
I am not putting. I am saying this is me. Is my personal opinion. We don't have to beat them. I would like to beat them, but what I expect us to beat the teams from 15 go down. I expect it. There is no more Burnley's beating us. No more Brentwood beating us. There should be no more Brentwood 4-0s. There should be no more fighting up with Leicester to get a draw. No. I expect us to beat.
You're supposed to run over all of those teams.
From 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
I hear you.
Right.
Last season severely scarred you, boy. You need to get you some trauma treatment.
Yeah.
So if we, you say we need to have another choice, a backup choice. What about Douglas Luiz? Douglas Luiz is out of favor at Juventus. He has done a very good job for Aston Villa in the Premier League. Doing exactly that, playing that role, and also contributing with goals and assists for Aston Villa in his last season before he got his move to Juventus. He's out of favor there, and a matter of fact, is considered surplus to requirements at Juventus. What about Douglas Luiz? If we can't get Baliba, would you be interested in Douglas Luiz?
If it is that the management sees a place for him in the team, because I have realized now that Ineos are signing players not for Amarim. They are buying players for the club, right? Correct. I am very, very scarred, you know what I mean? So, but we are buying players for the club. We're not buying players for Amarim. You know what I mean? So let's just say that God forbid, everything goes horribly wrong, right? And after 10 games, we are 16th, and we fire Amarim, right? God forbid. But the players who we have brought can fit other people's, templates. They can fit other people's style of play. Like Mbemo can fit a different style. Cunha, Sesko, Baleba can fit a different style. So what I like about our friends is that they're not specific to Amarim. You know what I mean? So if the news watches him and sees his profile and says, you know what, he can fit our ethos going forward, no problem. Because I think this season so far, Ineos so far has proven to me that they're not buying players because there's a means and a way, and there's a there is something
A
behind
structure and
everything.
a long-term strategy.
Correct. So they have gained my somewhat trust. I still don't trust them to leave the house, right? But I trust you to go downstairs, right? You're not going out with your friends. They can go to the gate, right?
They could go in the yard and talk with the boy next door, but you ain't trusting
Right.
them out the gate just yet.
Hell no. No, no, no. Mm-mm.
I hear. So let's look at the formation a little bit and see about, and I want some, I want people to comment and let us know if Baliba doesn't work out, if Brighton plays hardball and we don't get the man that we're going for. Douglas Luiz, is he an option? Who are the other options that are feasible? Right? Don't come and give me no crazy names that we can't get. Right? But people who you think would be feasible to come and do a job in Manchester's midfield. One of the concerns I have is the fact that Bruno Fernandes, as much as he is the best player at the club since he arrived, as much as he is our captain, he did not go to Saudi Arabia. And as a result, he is here. He's an almost durable player, and we have to play.
Mhm.
If we go in the front three of Sesko, Cunha, and Mbumo,
Yeah.
we are going to have to play Bruno Fernandes in the midfield.
Yes.
It is not a position he is incapable of playing. Bruno Fernandes used to play in that position at his former club. He played the position occasionally in formations during his time here. So it's not a cannot do it. However, he is no holding midfielder. He's going to need support.
Mhm.
Would you like to see Bruno pushed forward and that front three kind of mixed up and rotated to facilitate that? Do we need two players defensive minded? Because remember we do have wing backs also supporting the play.
Yeah.
So Manchester United is going to have, Dogu is showing us that he's going to come and play and go forward and cross the ball in the box. We actually have somebody who could actually put the head on the end of a ball in Sesko, right?
Yeah.
He's tall. He's an excellent in the air. So we should be putting more crosses in the box. Would you like to see a change of formation, or you think just getting in a Barella would be sufficient? Just getting in that perfect player to put next to Bruno will be enough.
I don't foresee Amarim to change his formation. I think his formation is set.
No. I don't mean change the formation. I mean change the structure. Meaning push Bruno up and probably you start Sesko and Mbumo, right? Or you bring in Cunha and you kind of rotate. So Bruno had to play.
Yeah.
So 2 out of the next 3 will play at a time. Because it's not like if Cunha can't play in the 9.
No,
it's not like if Mbumo cannot play in the 9.
Cunha, what I have seen, is better at a 10 than a 9. Because Cunha likes to run up players.
I'm not saying no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm asking is, should we try to push Bruno higher up, or should we just focus on getting somebody next to him?
No, I think what Bruno needs to do, not what Bruno needs to do, because Bruno chose to stay, right? You had a chance to leave for $100 and something million, but you are selfish. So this is me. You know how to fix yourself. Bruno,
he had to figure out a way. He had to figure out a way to be the best player in that midfield.
Correct.
It's on Bruno to fix it.
Let him fix it. Between him and Amarim, fix it. And if it can't be fixed, I hope that Amarim takes Bruno and puts him on the bench. Because Hoyland chose to stay here. Whatever happens to you, happens to you. I am sorry, but the thing is, right? Yes, I'm a Bruno fan, but I'm not a Bruno hater. I'm kind of in the middle, right? So for me, I would have took the money, I'd have told, I would have, if it was up to me, I'd have
You're
said,
not telling Bruno thanks,
no,
but
thanks,
bust out.
that's out. Right. Sure. And today, we'd have had money and we could have built a proper midfield. But he's here because he's selfish. So fine. You had no other things. If you and again, right, he is the captain. As a captain, right, you lead by example. So his example should be, look at me, I'm gonna fix myself for the team. Fix yourself for the team, fix yourself.
All right.
Because what I want to see this year is players who can't be fixed, bench. Because we don't have
Well,
time.
the reality is,
Yeah.
except for that, and I don't even want to say except for that position, because even if we bring in a player to play next to Bruno, we have Casemiro,
Yes.
we have Mano, we
Yeah.
have Ugarte,
Yeah.
right? Concerning the tens, Bruno could always play up. We also have Mason Mount, right?
No, we don't have
Manu could. Maybe we don't have Mason Mount.
We don't
Something happened to Mason Mount, Robert. Did you injure Mason Mount? Did you go and
I
spill
have
something in his
nothing.
bathroom and he slipped and he
He'll be
fell that I didn't know about?
and he'll be injured tomorrow. I guarantee it. I would bet money to anybody here.
I am knocking on wood that Mason Mount will be uninjured for the entire season. So we have Mason, we have Manu that could also play in the 10. So we have a nice rotation of players.
Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying. If you're not cutting the mustard, we play in one game a week until the FA Cup comes around, probably in the January. So if you're not cutting it, this is definitely a sink or swim season. I think in a short order, you're not going to be allowed too many bad games. Amarin will bench players and will have players on the exit list the same way. He made it clear after the last game. He told Garnacho, hey, you better hope you're not in this team at the beginning of next season. You know what I mean? He didn't play. He made it very, very clear. The club made it clear to Hoyland, hey, yeah, what's going on? We're looking to replace you. Right? They didn't formally tell him that until recently, but all the actions were saying clearly we're looking for goals. And we went and we got goals, right? So players can't hide this season, and I don't think the fans are going to accept consistently bad performances, and I don't think the manager's going to accept it. You know, even the new players that come on, it's not like, as I say, it's not like we do our players to play in the 10. You understand? And we haven't even said, nobody's been talking about Zirkzee. It's almost like Zirkzee fall off the planet. Nobody has been saying a word about it. Like, if we forget, Zirkzee is still here.
Yeah, no, he's here. He's
still here, you know? So, you know, Ken is saying Mount will quiet men this season. That is what we're talking about, Ken. I think so. Mount has a good preseason. He's one of the players that has shone, and I expect Mount to do something, you know, consistently where we are concerned. Martin Philip is saying everything goes through Bruno. What happened if he gets injured? I actually don't think we have a problem if Bruno is not playing every week. Bruno is one person we have cover for. Mount could play in Bruno's position. Manu could play in Bruno's position. We could change it up a little bit and play Ugarte and Casemiro, or, you know, hopefully we have Carlos Baliba on the team, you know, play Baliba next to one of those other guys. It may be a little more defensive, but we have attacking players elsewhere. I don't think if Bruno gets injured, that's going to be an issue at all for Manchester United. He's one of the players where it's like, yes, he's Mr. Dependable. Yes, he's going to start every game. But if he doesn't start every game, it's like, we have cover for Bruno.
Yeah. We do. Yeah,
we have cover for Bruno.
All
right, yeah. So, you know, we're not going to do our season predictions and stuff at this show. You know, we're going to do that just before the beginning of the new season, right? We're going to have a show. People Stay tuned, like the channel, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, tell a friend, hey, it have a YouTube channel with guys from the Caribbean talk about Manchester United. You need to check it out, right? Check out the United Hour. Also, for anybody who doesn't know, United Hour is connected to Man United Supporters Caribbean. You can check us out on YouTube, on IG. Join the supporters of the Caribbean group, and we have a lot of interesting content coming up throughout the season. We're also going to be doing a lot of live events. We're going to be heading out to some bars. We're going to be listing those out soon and rolling that out. So you all will be informed. But we're going to be kicking off the season with a bang, because I personally think that we could give Arsenal a little shock.
Yeah.
So to wrap it up, you are saying we need to go all out for Carlos.
Yeah.
All out for Baliba. We need a midfielder.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, once he says yes to it, we will get him. It's just when we will get him. We will find the money under a couch, under a cushion, under the rug, wherever we will go, we will find the money and we will get it. I mean, I am not, the first time, I'm not worried about us buying players for the first time. Don't jinx my words. Knock on wood, right? Don't jinx my words. But for the first time, I'm not worried about if we say we are going for him, we will get him. It just went.
Yeah, Ineos has shown a degree of maturity, and a degree of efficiency. And every player that we have contacted and say, you want to come? So far has said yes. And has made it clear to the club, we want to go. And I agree with you. Despite the sums being spoken about from Brighton, I think the likelihood of us getting our man is very high as well.
To me, the money should not be a factor, because people will, if we had paid 50 for him, they would say, oh, he's so cheap. We pay 120 for him, they could say, oh, it's so much money. When they do it, it's fine, but it's okay because they don't want us to come back. And I understand, because as fans, we are some real idiots as fans. We can be very annoying. We are Manchester fans. I know we can be very arrogant and ignorant and boastful. But you know what? I will say it today. We are gonna beat Arsenal 2-0, and our man, he ain't saying nothing this year. He will score 10 goals.
I actually think that Gutierrez is going to be very successful. Just don't want him to be successful against us. He can start scoring from his second game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have him in my fantasy team at present, but he might get in there at some point, but just don't start scoring against us. That's all I'm saying. You understand? But yeah, we're looking for some other names, right? We know Manchester United is all in for Baliba. Give us some other names. If we can't get Baliba, who do you think we should go? I personally think we should consider Douglas Luiz as a B option, right? Because he's done it in the Premier League at a high level before, and he's out of favor at Juventus, so we should be able to get him on the cheap. That is just my thought. Let me hear what you all think. Put it down in the comments. Like and subscribe. And stay tuned. We're going to have another show coming out for you guys tomorrow. Remember, Red Devils don't die. We multiply. Later, people.